Okay, so we're gonna start with spoiler free, and then hop into the spoilers. Initial impressions of the movie. You first, go.
Initial impressions. It was okay. It was one of those joints where you just enjoy the day out, and as much for I enjoyed it for what it was. I wasn't really over the top about it. Wasn't really impressed. Wasn't really disappointed. Wouldn't be running. If you didn't see it with me today, I wouldn't be telling you or Silent that go see the shit this weekend. It wasn't bad. Wasn't bad. Just not one of them joints that's going to stick with me and have me saying I got to see this 2 to 3 times to see, but I might have missed and shit.
That's a good impression. For me, like I said, it wasn't great, it wasn't terrible, but I feel like it's one of those movies that we saw it in 40X. I mean, we snuck into the 40X theater, and I feel like, first of all, lesson learned.
Lesson learned.
Don't ever steal food from the concession stand and go into a 40X theater. Because when I say it's like trying to eat on a fucking roller coaster, that was the worst thing that we could have ever done. I don't know why we did that. I don't know why we did that.
We were stuck in between trying to find an empty seat that nobody was going to sit in, and then holding food that we fucking stole. So now everybody telling us, "Can you get the fuck out of the way?" Now we in the cheers.
The beginning of the movie.
It's everything we fucking stole.
Why did we do that?
On the floor.
Why did we do that? Now usually when stupid shit happens, that's your fault. But that was both of our faults. I'll take blame for that shit too. Because my dumb ass wanted to get food too. And I'm sitting there like this. And I'm like, why did I get this?
You bought the noisy shit. You purchased, you stole fucking nachos and a large popcorn. Don't ask me how the fuck you snatched it. Only thing I did wrong was actually fill the soda to the actual fucking top when I stole those 2 empty cups. I mean, long story short, we won't do that shit again. 40X is not the theater to steal in. It's just...
We thought we was winning, yo. I'm like, got food, didn't have to pay, and then got penalized. That's karma, yo. That's karma.
Because as soon as we walk in the movie, somebody getting exercise. So it's like...
Fuck. Anyway, now back to my original point. I feel like this movie, I feel the way I feel because we saw it in 40X. Because I'm not going to lie, 40X enhanced the fuck out of that movie.
Amplified every situation.
Every seat moving, lights flashing, thunder, the whole theater just fucking lit up. So that got me more invested than I feel like I would have been. Like if we just saw the shit regular, I feel like I just would have been like, okay.
Right, because we would have been on flat.
Yeah.
No movement. But
now that we were inserted into the movie damn near, I feel like it gave it that extra boost. It was dope. That part was dope. But I'm kind of in the middle. Now, like I said, right now I'm going to keep it spoiler free. The movie, it wasn't terrible. It wasn't terrible. Like, they got some dope shit. Mm-hmm. And the way it started off was cool to me. Mm-hmm. Like, right in the middle. But they're not setting nothing up. You know what I mean? You inserted right into the bullshit. Like, oh, shit, here we go. They slapping you. They're like, yeah, we in the shit now. Like, you ready? Like, that type of shit. I'm like, okay, all right. I was into it. And, shit happened. And I'm like, okay. And then at a certain point, I was like, okay. It's just like, and I hate to sound picky and spoiled, but, like, I wanted more.
This time you're not being picky, nigga.
I wanted more.
I'm keeping it a stack. I'm keeping it 1,000 with you right now. You just said what I felt inside the fucking theater. The shit starts off and the cheers are rumbling. We're in stolen seats and shit. Next thing you know, you go from up here, you see the demon, you see the first exorcist, you see the hyper shit, and then the movie it falls into this pit. And you're trying to figure out if it gets better, if the storyline becomes a little bit more intense, but it just fell into a hole.
It's like the movie got comfortable and it's like, all right, we're going to stay here.
Yep.
We're going to stay here. We'll throw a little bit at you, but we're just going to stay in the pocket for a little bit. We're just going to stay here. We're not going to do nothing crazy. You know what I mean? You with us, right? You still with us? Okay, let's do this for the rest of the movie. Yep. It felt like that type shit. Like, and I hate to keep saying this because it sounds like I'm throwing shade to other motherfuckers, but you can tell when James Wan didn't direct this movie.
Boom, nigga.
You can really tell. Now, I was a little worried because the other movie this dude did, I believe, was Curse of La Llorona.
Yeah.
And I didn't like that movie. I didn't like that. So knowing he was going to be spearheading this shit, I was like, uh-oh. But to me, it wasn't like that. It was better than that. You know what I mean? It didn't fall flat. I just wanted more. Like, I feel like it could have done more. Like, it got a little tropey, a little, you know what I mean? It's the regular shit you always see. It's just there. You know, some things were creative though, but I'll say this is a movie where if you wanted to, you could watch it at home. Now, Quiet Place was not one of those movies. Quiet Place was a movie that I said, get your ass to the theater, get your ass out that seat, go to the theater, go see the shit now. That type shit. This is like, you know, you can catch it when you catch it. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
If it come on TV, you know, just throw it on.
And this shit is not, you can't even call this shit an automatic disc. It is what it is. I'm going to keep it a beam with you and say it again and again and again. This is one of those joints where you can wait till next week to watch it. You can sit at home and watch it. We're not saying it's shitty. What we're saying is it really could have been more. It could have gave you more bang for the buck.
Like, I think this joint is also on HBO Max. I think it is. I'm not 100% sure. I think it's streaming. If it's streaming on the platform, I would say, you know, just catch it there. If you have the sub to that service, you know, just watch it and convenience your own home.
If you have the service,
yeah. If you have, don't go out of your way. But you know, if you already have it and you want to throw it on and see how the new Conjuring is, you know, go ahead, throw it on. Well, I say go to the theater and pay money. If you want that experience, I know it's our return to the theater. So if you want that theater experience, then okay, yeah, go ahead. Will I say you need to see this right now? Nah, not really.
Nah,
not really.
Because when you sit there and you watch the movie, when you're watching a bunch of scenes. You see a demon face here, you see a demon face there, exorcism here, you see a priest here, and now you start to hear certain lines from the actors where you're just like, this isn't the Conjuring's, this isn't what the Conjuring delivers. This is some shit where I would have been happier if they didn't title this shit The Conjuring.
Yeah.
It wasn't it. Like, I mean, the Warrens, they put them in a different position. It didn't give me that, yo, I'm scared to drive home by myself feel. It didn't give me, I gotta turn every light on in my house. We came over, we chill, and it's this
we
bitch.
had a just regular conversation. Like, yeah, we fucked up bringing in that food. We talking about other shit outside of the movie.
The
like,
demon in the car, like
y'all weren't scared? What the fuck? that
I came from hell for nothing?
Demon in the backseat with his arms folded, like, that type of shit.
Tell me, after I broke, like, it just...
And I didn't want that, because 1 and 2... We walked out of the theater, doing 360s, checking everything. Is the light on? Is the light on? Is the light on? You good? You good? What's that sound? That type shit. This is like, oh, okay, you know, you want to get something to eat, man. That type shit.
You were actually, when you watch this movie, you are able to, you can have something else distract you easily while watching this movie. If somebody sparks a conversation, you ask them, hey, what are you guys talking about? What's going on? Can I butt in?
And that's not to say there aren't any scares in this movie, because there are. There are some legitimate ones. There's some good tension at certain scenes. But the movie as a whole, like, you know, it's that thing where you can cherry pick things that were dope. Like, I can cherry pick things in Annabelle 1 that I liked, but the movie as a whole, I didn't like it. This one, the movie as a whole, it wasn't bad. It wasn't great. It was like in the middle, and I can still cherry pick things that I liked. But it's like, would I go see it again?
You won't rush to go see it again.
I don't know if I would, you know, go see that. 1 and 2, I'll watch them again and again and again. This, I don't know.
This felt like the third or the fourth installment of Insidious, where Insidious 1 and 2 hit you, and it gave you this powerful demonic feel where you felt as though I am really afraid. This one was more so. It just felt like somebody gave you food without seasoning. It looks great. Looks really well. You bite into it and you're like, oh,
I don't taste shit.
I don't taste shit. Where's the ending flavor? No, this movie you can't diss it, because now that's just being over the top. But you really can't sit in this movie like we did and say, yo, overall, this shit was.
I feel like this is a movie where they could have took the Warrens out. They could have took that Conjuring connection out. And it probably would have done fine on its own. Like, you don't need to shoehorn it into the universe. But, you know, I know it's based on stuff that they actually did. But it's like, it just feels like it's trying too hard to be a Conjuring movie. And like, oh, me too. Like the little brother that, you know, you give the controller that's not plugged into. And it's like, yeah, you playing the game. It's like, okay, ooh. That type shit.
Stay on that word. That word right there. You just named two things as far as it being you just said it. Now, the item that the movie displayed, you saw it. It was a part of the room where the Warrens keep on the... Okay, so I get it. It's a part of the world. But speaking of little brother, I don't like how the movie tried to bunch in a bunch of things without actually giving certain things enough time to shine.
Yeah. It felt like it was, it was going rapid fire. We gotta push the plot along. This,
Yeah.
boom, that's that. Do this, end the movie. Like,
here's Arnie again. 2 hours later, here's Arnie again. He's doing something else.
So what I mean, it's a movie where, like, if you really want to see another Conjuring movie, and you ain't got nothing else to do, then you can go ahead and watch it. Am I gonna say go out of your way to see it? Nah, you don't have to do that. Go see Quiet Place too. Go see that shit. This right here, catch it when you catch it. Now, with that being said, we're gonna go on to spoilers. Now, first of all, I enjoyed the beginning of this movie because it starts off with the exorcism and it's heavy, it's crazy. The kids in the bathtub, demons like, hey, what's up, bitch? Like, we doing this? What's up? Like, you know what I mean? It show up. Shit is escalating. His sister's boyfriend does some G shit that I wouldn't do. Like, just take me, get at him, take me. Demon's
He's like, a child.
Demon's like, word? You
sure?
Okay, just hop out of here. Okay.
Yo, hold on, time out before you keep going. When I tell you, I wanted to laugh because the demon literally stopped talking his shit. Like,
what the fuck? Like you
word? Hold on, you mean tell me I ain't gotta bother him. I can be you.
This demon stepped out of the kid, dapped him up. Like, okay, all right.
He said, little nigga, it was good. It was
that type shit. Yep. And then hopped right into him.
Yep.
Smooth.
Then a little boy just sitting there like, damn.
It was that easy?
Easy. Ah, shit.
I mean, that shit. That's some G shit right there. And that whole scene, I enjoyed it. Even when the priest showed up and they had that exorcist shot, him stepping out of the cab, looking up at the house, got the top hat on, had that shit. I got exorcist vibes. I'm like, okay, all right. This movie got promise. You know what I mean? It's going in the right direction. So I was with it in the beginning. Of course, RPX 40X doing this, doing the exorcism. Yo, we was on the whoop.
And when young boy, like you said, the scene was dope because when young boy's body was flipping and like I was like, oh shit, it's getting real. And then when what is his name? Ed Warren.
Yeah.
When a demon hit nigga in his chest and forced him into a heart attack, I said this movie is gonna blow us out of the fucking water.
Yeah. Demons, shut up. Right at the heart. Right at the heart. That demon's watching kung fu movies. That demon was watching Bruce Lee. That demon was watching Bruce Lee. He said,
yo, he hopped on the table. He said, what's that? And he told the nigga friend, he said, look, he said, I'm gonna stop your heart, old man. Stop fucking with me. Basically,
he couldn't do anything. That motherfucker punched him right in the heart.
Yeah.
Smooth.
Demon punch.
And in that hit in 40X, listen, I felt that shit like boom. Like somebody came out of the crowd and just actually hit me in the chest. I'm like, okay, cool.
Knocked their seats back.
Yeah.
Like, oh, shit.
I was like, cool. So it started off good. It started off, it had great imagery. Like, things were connecting. It continued, and then it's just like, it just kept, I don't know, man. I just wanted more, man. I wanted more because
the investigation itself could have drawn us in a little bit more.
Yeah, because we saw that featurette saying how we wanted to be a detective thing, detective movie and investigation and all that. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, all right, cool. Like I feel like it could have been more effective in the way it chose to be a detective movie. Like how they go investigate. It's kind of like they loosely did it, and they going here and they going there, and
they took away from the horror aspect. Because when she was in the woods, that part right there was you're supposed to sell me at that point. You're in the woods. Give it your all at that point. Horror movie rules. Give it your all. That shit was cut and dry. She's on the edge of the cliff. I wanted to see way more from that. Because when you watch the shit in the trailer, I'm thinking, I'm expecting way more.
It was some dope effects though, like that change from day to night, and that camera That's how it switched. I was like, okay, that's dope.
From her being with everybody else and then she's by herself in another world where it shows the previous thing that happened with the violence and shit. I get it, but no, nigga, it didn't hit me. You know what I mean?
I mean, but when the two girls ran from out that side of that tree, you turned into Super Mario.
No, I did. And like, look, I will never be a lying ass nigga. The jump scares were there. Boom, they were. But after you get the jump scare out of your system, you fall flat again because they start to go into a direction where it doesn't really complete what you wanted to fucking complete.
Yeah, it's just like they got some dope shit here. Like everything about, you know, with the haunting of the kid, like when he was in prison mopping up, and then the witch fucking with him, and shit like that. Like that was cool. Even when Lorraine, you know, crossed over and fucking found her.
That was kind of hot.
That was dope. And the chick said, "How the fuck are you here? How you doing this shit?"
I was sitting by God. She said, "Well, your God damned you." I said, "Damn, shorty."
In other words, she said, "I don't give a fuck," like that type shit. I'm like, okay, that's gangster. That's.
How do you feel about that? When you watched him in jail, and you saw him going through certain things, you see a scene because you said it. You see a certain scene, and you're just like, okay, give it to me, give it to me. And you think it's about to give it to you, then it falls flat again so quick.
It's like you got some dope shit here. Instead of building on that, you know, you got the lot of downtime. I mean, it's John Noble. That's a dope motherfucker. I'm glad that you brought him in. OG actor. Everything he's in is great. You know, they went to see him, and he's creepy as fuck. You second guess him the whole time. It's like,
Captain Secret.
Something's going on with you.
Captain Secret.
I mean, you don't know if he's, you know, just telling the truth or he's trying to set motherfuckers up. You know what I mean? So you got some dope shit here. It's just, I really can't put my finger on it other than the fact that I wanted more. And I don't want that to be confused about me being greedy and spoiled and all that. It's just like, if you look at what Conjuring 1 and 2 did, that's what I wanted. Conjuring 2 has some shit in there that fucking traumatized me. And, you know what I mean? I don't know whether that's saying I want them to up the ante or what, but I just feel like what they had that was dope, they could have built on that and tightened it up a little bit, and it could have been way more effective than a forgettable movie. Because honestly, this is kind of forgettable. Like, you walk out of the theater, you got to struggle to remember, like, oh, what happened? I mean, that type of shit. And the Conjuring movie should not be that.
That shit got so bad. I was going to write notes while I was watching, so I don't forget the forgettable shit. I mean, look at the main villain. The main villain. You have two villains. You have, since this is spoilers, you have the woman who they were going back and forth with, and then you have the actual demon that she summoned.
Mm-hmm.
Between the two of them, they could have left her out. Because I feel as though she was there, she had a few scenes. The demon had this crazy ass look and crazy height. Show that demon a little bit more. Show that demon within certain areas of the house where the angle is so scary. You see a shadowy figure. No, the movie just let scene by scene go by and go by, and I was upset about that.
It's like they didn't show the monster too much, which can be a good thing if everything else is tightened up,
right,
and that tension is built the whole time. But like every time a demon wasn't there, it was like downtime. It was like, okay, we can just chill now. Okay, and then you know what happens? You're gonna talk to her and relationship and all that, blah blah blah. But you know what I mean? I would have been good with all that if this whole power of love thing isn't what saved
the day.
Everybody. Like, the power of love. Remember me. Remember what we had. Remember. And it's just like,
don't let her take the love that we have away. You're just like, shut the fuck up at this point.
I'm like, the power of love is what did it. I mean, I know love is a strong emotion, but it's like,
between the love shit, between Ed's medical condition in the movie, I was in a position where I don't know if I wanted to see more demon. I don't know if I wanted to see more possession. I don't know if I wanted to see more creepy shadows. I'm not sure what I want, but I do know what I was expecting. And it wasn't, I didn't want to walk out of this movie theater thinking about what's coming out that could be better than what I just saw.
It's just like, you know what I mean? Remember the love we have. And then he snaps out of it.
I'm coming back.
Okay, I'm here. They're right in front of the altar. Conveniently use the hammer on the altar, and that's the thing that...
How did you feel about that? It took physical force to destroy a demonic connection. So you break the table and the altar in half, and all of a sudden the demon is like, oh shit, there goes my power source.
I guess time to go home.
Guess I'm going home. Even though hell has way more serious shit than a fucking table. And
so, you know, he shows up, turns her into a Rubik's Cube, and then rolls out.
Right, like, I need a solar collecting, bitch. You let me down.
Peace.
Mind you, I kind of wish they would have. Maybe they did. Maybe it went over our heads, but they should have showed how she got her fucking powers because I'm pretty sure she teleported to kill her own father in that movie.
Yeah, it's like she had, you know, she was enhanced, had abilities somewhat, but it's just like, it just seemed like, okay, you got this random chick that has this power doing this stuff. I know she made the deal with the devil and no, but it's just, like, I don't know, man. I'm not saying I need an explanation of everything, like, but it just, I don't know, man. It's just certain things. It's just like it was hard to give a fuck about these characters. It was just hard to give a fuck. And when you don't give a fuck about the characters you're watching in the movie, you're like,
the movie.
Ah.
Shit, even the part where Lorraine is like, the girl's body is down there. This movie was rated R, right? You could have showed the body. You could have showed the scene where it shows the girl jump. Not show that, but you get what I'm saying. Don't give me the whole woods scene. The only thing you show is a stabbing scene that you don't really show. And then you don't show the girls, but it's just something.
I mean,
about...
it showed her on a table, and that was honestly, I didn't want to see her body with all that water, you know.
Yeah.
I didn't want to see it. You saw the foot, you saw the hand. I'm like, Even when she was grabbing the hand, I'm like, You know what I mean? So
the scene in the morgue was okay.
That was cool. You know what I mean? When the big fat dude got up and was running, I was like, you know what I mean? I wanted to be like more scared, but
you know how it is when a horror movie. You know how it is when a horror movie touches your soul. You're creeped out. This didn't creep me out. There were just a bunch of scenes where I was like, oh, all right, cool. What's next? Please tell me this gets better.
It's like, and I have to make the comparison to A Quiet Place too. In that movie, I gave a fuck about every character on screen that I was supposed to give a fuck about. I cared about everybody. I cared about the little deaf girl. I cared about Cillian Murphy. I cared about the mom, the son, the little baby. When the baby was going through shit, I was like, oh god. In this one, I gave a fuck about the Warrens because I'm already connected with them from 1 and 2. But other than that, everybody outside of that, I didn't give a fuck. I'm like, it's like I didn't make that connection because I know it just wasn't established well. That, I mean, the little boy in the beginning, like, and the thing is, like, I started to connect with him in the beginning when it started with the exorcism and the little boy was going through shit and he was talking to his sister's boyfriend. It's like, when are you gonna marry my sister? You know what I mean? That was cute shit. I'm like, okay, let me start to get invested. You know, I'm starting, but then at some point in the movie, it just lost me. I'm like, I don't really care.
Shit, nigga, the waterbed scene wasn't what I wanted it to be.
It was okay.
Wanted it to be.
It was okay. Like, I'm thinking about like the scene in underneath the house that was
that was kind of creepy.
That was creepy. They had that tension and all that. You see the rats, and the first time you see the witch's totem or whatever the fuck, then you're like, oh shit, what's that? But then it's like, it just didn't. Oh man, I just wanted more. Like it was disappointing. It wasn't a whack movie. It was just disappointing.
Right.
And honestly, a lot of it is forgettable, and I didn't want it to be, but it's forgettable.
And this based off of true story shit. You have to take it for what it is.
You take it with a grain of salt. Because, the actual story is always different. You know what I mean? It's not one-to-one to what happens in the movie. It never is. It never is. Because Texas Chainsaw Massacre is based on a true story, too. Did all that shit happen in real life? Fuck no.
Not, but...
Fuck no. Like, the real story is always way different. But I do like the fact that they play the actual tapes at the end, so you can hear, what was going on. That's that brings it into the real world a little bit more.
Knockout punch.
But yeah, no, it's like you know what happened in the movie isn't what actually happened. That's how it always is. That ain't nothing new. They've been doing that shit for decades. But I just wanted more.
Now there was so in the beginning when they showed him commit his first murder and he killed the dude and that was the drunk dude, and there was something about that scene that always made me question a lot of bad things that happen in real life. Like, are people really possessed where they think they see something else and he kills somebody because they thought they saw,
I do like the way that whole scene was done though.
Hell yeah.
Because it showed his panic and the motherfucker was fucking with him, and like if it stayed like that, I'd have been good.
Right.
I'd have been good because you don't know at that scene. You don't know what's going on really because like he sees things a completely different way, and I'm like, oh shit. They bring that back, when it happens to Ed, but I don't know. By that point, I'm just like, eh.
Right, but like I said, they didn't make sure. It's like they didn't know what they didn't know how they wanted to go into this movie. It was scene after scene, but if they had focused on the type of fear they wanted to install in you, it would have been better. Because that scene in the kennel, when they showed that all he could see was a beast attacking a girl, and the girl's like, "Look, nigga, there's something really serious going on." He's like, "No, you don't know what I see."
Right. That part was dope. That part was dope, and then you got the red and all that, and it's like at that point, I'm invested.
You're invested.
But when the movie just loses you, and you're just sitting there like, oh, okay, all right, that's a problem.
He's walking down the road. I think I've done something bad. I'm just like, it was kind of scary because you don't understand what just happened.
Mm-hmm.
But with
like, it had me, and then it lost me. Not completely, because if it lost me completely, I would have been shitting on this movie, and I'm not going to do that. I'll say, check it out if you want. Don't stop your day and go see it. But if you got some free time, yeah, go ahead and check it out. But if it's streaming online,
watch it at home.
Go watch that shit at home.
And if you want
watch it at home.
If you want a quick scare, I mean, yeah, enjoy it for what it is. But do not expect to. Don't expect. Just don't expect. Period. When you watch this, just be chilled with the shit.
Don't expect 1 and 2. Temper your expectations.
After this shit, I kind of wouldn't mind if they stopped it right here.
Truthfully, I wouldn't either. And I went in this with an open mind because I didn't want to damn the movie before I saw it. So I'm like, let me chill. Let me just see what happens. And it's not as worse. It's not as bad as it could be, but it's not great either. So it is what it is. I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. We saw it. I am glad I saw it because I did want to see what happened, and that's where it is.
It gets a. I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 10.
5 out of 10.
I'm dead smack in the middle with this shit. Don't hate it. Don't love it. It's dead smack in the middle. It was something to do.
I might give it a 6.5.
Okay.
Because like I said, you can cherry pick parts that you like, and the beginning had me. It's like if they started bad and ended bad, then yeah, it'd have been dog shit. It'd been like a 3 or 4. But they had me, and there are some dope things in the movie, like that kennel scene and the whole beginning, and the tension, the scene in the jail and all that. So it had promise. But it just didn't deliver on certain things, and the movie as a whole kind of it just stayed comfortable and didn't really try to do anything else. So yeah, I give it a 6.5. I'm a little disappointed, but it is what it is. It is what it is. He fucking left the baby there. And this motherfucker don't give a fuck. Like this shit out of my face. Fuck this shit. Yo, you see the baby flying? What is? Yeah. I got a fucking Coke bottle.
The man is killing us, man.
Over. Funa Burundi.
Let's the bomb up.
Kichibira chikwafu. So kichakule.
The bomb, man.